Well, hello there. Welcome to Leadership from the Heart. My name is Renee Funk, and together with my dear friend, Miss Elizabeth Riley, we're so excited for today's show. Hey, Elizabeth.
Hi, and not only that, we're now in sync because it seems like we're matching when we don't even realize it. So you're looking great in that blue.
Blue seems to be the color of the day. And what else is the color of the day is we talk about leadership from the heart. And our guest today, Miss Laura Monroe, is all heart. I've had the privilege of knowing Laura Monroe for several years now. We go way back, Laura, back to our real estate webmaster days.
Yeah.
Laura is now the global head of community at Inman. Previously, she was the head of industry and brand engagement at Real Estate Webmasters, where she and I first met. And I can't wait to dive into this. And that is that your main core value is it's not about me, it's about you. Welcome, Laura Monroe.
Thank you, ladies. I'm so excited. I feel so honored to be here and be able to chat with you. I love this series that you're doing.
Thank you. Well, we love it too because we're getting to know people on a much deeper level, right? And getting to and be more intentional in situations and conversations we think are going one direction. We just learn so much more. We get so much more out of it. So I don't know. I think we're the ones that are truly blessed with the series.
I think you're right. I'm seeing it. It's just a lot more people being more intense. I know I feel it too. So I love it. Love it.
So Laura, you and I have shared quite a few conversations over the years, and really a lot more. I've been so blessed to take a deeper dive with you about mindset. And what we know about you is that you pour love in so much into the real estate industry. I like to think of you as a global connector with the largest heart. What have you experienced over the last couple of months in the real estate community?
Wow, it's been a lot. I came back to Inman after Real Estate Webmasters in January, and we had no idea this was even coming. So I was very busy, head down, already thinking about ways to re-engage in this role around community. And I don't think it could have come at a better time because, one of the things that I have just loved is just seeing everybody pour into each other. One of the things about our industry is that we're always really kind of fragmented and hurried, and we're hustling and we're doing this and we're doing that. And there was this great big pause where we were all sitting around in our living rooms, kind of looking around at each other virtually going, wow, are we really going through this right now? So it's been, tactically, it's been a stripping away of brand conversations, but it's really about just summoning up all of the collective power, care, support, reaching out to people rather than just texting or rather than just waiting until you're going to see them at the next event. So there's this real sense of, no, I need to take the time, talk to people, find out how they really are. I think it's one of the best things to happen in this industry. I mean, the world in general, but I think I'm hoping that our industry really can bring so many takeaways from that. So it's been amazing to see.
Are you seeing a shift in mindset and approach with agents that maybe we'll all unite and finally kind of rally around the need that agents need to really authentically collaborate to lift the industry as a whole? Are you seeing some shifts in that direction? Oh, Elizabeth, I have you. Did we lose Laura?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Was that me? I don't know what happened.
It's okay. You froze up.
Oh, sorry. I think that what we do, I am seeing that. And I think it's interesting because I've seen some of the attention and the noise in our industry that normally gets most of the attention is not getting most of that attention. And I see things shifting away from C-suite level conversations, really sort of drawing its way downstream to how we're all working together and collaborating with each other to figure things out. And the real leaders that I'm seeing step up are the ones that are in, the team leader positions, and, the ones that are having to sort of gather their flock of agents together, care for them first, and then lead them through, these new situations that are changing almost daily. So I sort of see this big pause in the big higher level 30,000 foot view industry conversations being put to the back burner so that we can really focus on each other. And we're seeing leaders step up in ways we've never seen before. We're seeing agents more engaged in their teams, in their leadership. We're seeing them express themselves so much more, so that leaders are suddenly having conversations as a group and as individuals that they've never had before. Even I've had conversations with people in the ambassador team and that I've known for years that I'm now having much more personal, intentional conversations with that are not about business. So it's been really great for me personally, just to kind of see that all happen, because it empowers me in the community as a whole to see how people respond to that.
I love that you're seeing that from your seat as well, because what I've really noticed is levels don't matter. Titles don't matter. Right? We're all human and we're all connecting in different ways. And so it's nice to see the, for lack of a better word, arrogance. I've seen a lot of the arrogance and egos go out the window.
Yes.
It's been a breath of fresh air, right? So we're all human. We're all navigating this together in our own way. Let's figure out how we can do it better and help each other out. Yep. But it's really nice to see that part of it kind of calm down a little bit from what we were seeing before.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what I was talking about, was that no matter which lens you see it through, especially coming from, Inman in our media world, I mean, our job is to watch the news. Our job is to pay attention to what's happening in technology and mergers and acquisitions, and, who's getting hired now to take over this, multi-billion-dollar, company, venture capital, all of these conversations. Although they are always going to still be important to, sort of the fabric of our community, community is community, and community is about care, and community is about connecting, and community is about taking care of one another. So those conversations can happen in their internal places where they belong, while we're sitting here taking care of each other in our communities. And I think that's a breath of fresh air that I think many of us have been, frankly looking forward to, or at least trying to find the openings. And now there's been this pause, which has allowed a much bigger opening to go, gosh, that is a breath of fresh air to actually know. And from a business perspective, I feel like agents sometimes struggle with, what is my unique value proposition? And this is where your unique value proposition is, because your buyers and sellers don't care what's happening in, the C-suite at, big venture capital companies. They care what's happening in their lives, and they care about what's happening at home, and they care about who's helping them achieve their goals, and doing it with their health and safety and security and financial security in mind. And that's a huge hat to wear. And it's a huge badge of honor to wear for our consumers. And to be able to take that seriously is something that I think we need to move forward for, and really continue to fight to hang on to that. Don't give it up to the noise. Like, make sure you know what that is, and you go forward with that messaging, no matter where you are.
I had a client reach out to me actually recently. She's a doctor and has a bigger role than I feel like I do right now, right, in the world. But she reached out to me the other day, and, it's been a complicated situation on the back end, but I make it look like it's all roses from the front, from her vantage point, because that's my job, to make it easy for them. But she reached out and she goes, I've sold or bought about 4 or 5 different homes, and you would think I'd know what I'm doing. She goes, but I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm so refreshed to have you on my side, because I know you have the answers. And I know that I can come to you as a trusted advisor. And I told her, I said, you're not supposed to know any of this. You're supposed to know medicine and saving people's lives, and you have such a bigger job. And I said, let me handle the details. But when your clients understand the value that you bring and they build that relationship with you and you're their trusted advisor, what more do you want, right? So that's really my goal every single step. And it's like now they're reaching out, because before, if it was more passive relationships, they're reaching out going, you have the answers. What do I need to know? How do we navigate this? And we can be the calming voice because they know we have it under control.
Absolutely. And I feel like consumers probably, once they find that person, will probably, like, if there is a buyer or a seller that is navigating and trying to find that right agent, if they find that right agent that serves their needs in this moment right now in the middle of a pandemic and uncertainty, that will be a client for life. Yeah. So if there's anything in your value system or your alignment to your brand or anything that you have questioned in the past, get them nipped in the bud, because when you find those people that are your people and part of your community right now, they will be repeat referral clients for years to come. I don't know if there's ever been a stake that's been higher to really show up for clients. And when you can do it now, you're not going to hear people say, yeah, I can't remember that agent that I had 5 years ago. They're going to remember who you are. And so I was just off a call, another prep call earlier this morning, where it's like, if we can start building these intentions into our systems and our processes that really become those, like, memory makers is the term that this speaker used, was that it's less about just providing the fluffy marketing, advertising thing. And it's really about finding those ways that you're actually taking a moment and connecting with those people on a very visceral, emotional level to let them know that you're here. We've done this before, and I will be here to do it again with you in the years to come. So I'm here and I'm ready to do what I need to do. So
you just gave me goosebumps, and it brings us to the reminder of, I've heard some agents say I have to get back to basics. And, like, I look at the way successful agents run their business that are in our world. And quite frankly, the basics are being done the same way every day. And they've always been that way. And that's the relationship. So what you're sharing, Laura, is such an important reminder of the relationships that are nurtured now and over the last 60, 80 days, however long we've been going through this, whether it's on the agent side or the consumer side, these relationships are going to be solid for a long time because we've endured something together that whoever knew we could, right? Yeah. Whoever knew it would feel like this. Wow. And I would say what you just shared, I feel that. I feel like I've had closer relationships over the last 2 months that I know are going to be in place for a very long time. So it's a good reminder for agents to wrap their mind around what they're building and nurturing and loving on from a foundational standpoint.
Mm-hmm. And exactly right. And this is a shared experience. And anytime you have a shared experience that moves itself away from the transaction, is actually a life-changing experience. There's so much more empathy that you can attach to that. And I know that, I think even, coming into this, we look at others out there trying to find their footing, the right way to have a voice in the social media channels and, in their own marketing messages. And I think we're going to see a falling away of, making the ego be the thing that shows up first, like, I want to look like I'm an influencer, or I want to look like I'm this or that. And it's like, those sort of false things need to just, fall away. And we need to get back to the basics of service. And it's not unlike, medical professionals. It's just, when you think about it, doctors hold your life and your health in your hand, but what's more important than where you lay your head down at night? What's more important than being able to provide something for your family and know that someone is there to help you navigate the difficulties and the complexity of actually making that happen the way that you would like it to. So don't sell yourself short and think that the medical, profession should get all the glitz and glamour right now, because I think that it's going to be hugely important moving forward that we're part of the recovery. There's frontline doctors, nurses, everything working the front lines, but home is going to be part of the recovery. And you guys hold that in your hands. So
yeah, that security, right? That safety and security, there's no value you can put on that. So
yeah.
Absolutely, it's critical. And it's also critical, again, to educate and not create panic, because a lot of them are still in that panic mode because there's so many unknowns. So when their security and their safety is threatened, that's when people, react differently. So we do hold a big role, and I take that role very seriously every single day.
Yeah, I mean, and I've seen it just even with this series, these conversations that have come out from this series, conversations that Renee and I have had even offline, that, when you're a leader, even if you don't know all the answers, because it's just as uncertain for us at a million times a day when all of these decisions are being made. But I think real leaders can show up and say, I don't have all the answers, and I know that we're figuring this out as we go along. But most importantly, your health and your safety and understanding what you're comfortable with is first and foremost in my mind, and that we'll figure it out. And that the result and the bottom line for any buyer or seller is really the end result that you're looking for. So I think it's just continuing to let them know that we're figuring it all out as we go along, but we know what we need to do to make sure that we're taking care of our responsibilities and fiduciary responsibilities.
It's interesting that you point that out. And I'm not sure if Laura, and we've shared it a couple times on the show, is this show was actually birthed from that exact need. And in a moment of fear for me, I'll just speak for myself. I had fear. I called Elizabeth one day and we were having a conversation, and I said, oh my goodness, not sure how to lead the agents right now. Yeah. And it was after 2 days, she and I had both gone, it was early on, like mid-March, she and I had gone through 2 days of 10 hours of phone calls, just talking to agents and customers. And it almost felt like we were psychiatrists at the end of the day, that I needed to call, like, check on your strong friend. I called and I said, I need to unload for a minute. I'm terrified right now. I don't know how to lead. And so that was what birthed the show. Was and this I can speak on both of our behalves, because I know that you feel the same, Elizabeth, is I couldn't be more grateful for the number of people who've come together to talk with us, because it has given me the confidence to understand I don't have to know all the answers.
Yes.
It's that we have the power of the collaboration in the tribe. Right. And we have a lot of awesome tribes, right? The Inman community, we have our tribe that we collaborate with, and our brokerage. It's so good that our anxiety level can go down, because we all have a North Star. I know where I'm going today.
Yeah.
Right. Elizabeth, you know where you're going. And there's a lot of uncertainty still, but we're okay. We're okay. Yeah.
Well, and I think the other thing I've seen happen, and I remember saying this. So one of the things that we did at Inman really early on was, we shifted our editorial strategy. And one of the things that I did, we started a live community feed where every single morning I would come in, record a video, just kind of check in with everybody through video, just let them know we're thinking of them. I would sort of put up the daily planner of, if you're stuck and you need some things to do, just, sort of share these ideas as we kind of got through each day. But what I started to see, and I remember recording a video probably about 3 or 4 weeks in, where I said, I'm really starting to see like real estate without borders. That's what I sort of called it, which was, sort of the brand territorialness and, all of these different things that we sort of see around protectiveness of our brand, or, I'm only going to, make sure that I'm helping people that are only with my brand, or, whatever. That just all started falling away. And everyone was helping everyone. I was getting invites to groups of every brand, every association, everything. And I was seeing these things like flow left and right, and people congratulating each other. Would you mind if I borrowed that COVID resource that you just put together? Yes, definitely. Take it, have it, do whatever you want. And it's that kind of collaboration that, you know, when you see as an industry, when you see that fall away, it just makes all of us better, because we're learning from each other in so many different ways. Because again, it's not about the transactions, the number of transactions. It becomes about how are you caring for the people and how are you showing up. That's really going to help you build business. And I always say, you know, even agents connecting to each other and leaders connecting to each other, we make each other better. Even if we're competitors in some way, shape, or form, when you have to sit across the table in a transaction with someone else and it's someone that you may have helped along the way or they may have helped you, that's only going to make your business better. You know, so that's one of the things that I'm hoping that we definitely see, is that we see less of sort of this, you know, that person across the table or that person at that brokerage or that person there. Like we start to see we start to see ourselves as a community, really, which is that we're here to help each other. And if you're right next to me and you're right next to me and you're part of my people, then I take care of you. I don't care. You're the human I'm looking out for. So I hope we see for that. Yeah.
That was really surprising as well. You know, Renee was talking about our clients and reaching out to our clients and really just being that resource for them. But when we first had those conversations, it wasn't just our clients, it was also agents with our brokerage, not with our brokerage, in our group. And it was interesting to have those conversations to see the masks kind of come off, where you really thought everybody had it together and they were handling things and, you know, picture perfect. And then when they start having those transparent conversations, you're like, oh, okay, they're struggling in these ways. How can we help? So it was really great, not only to bring our clients together and be closer that way, but again, like you're talking about the agent community. We were talking to Stefan Swanepoel and talked about being broker blind, right? And
Totally.
That's really nice to have that and be able to reach out and or something comes up. I'm seeing people react softer, right? And more willing to help. And it's, again, that's how I've always operated.
Yeah.
You know, but that's not how everybody always operates. So when you start seeing people operate in the way that you're operating, man, it makes things so much easier for everybody. So I'm seeing a lot more of that. And it goes back to, and it might not be an ego thing. It's just, you know, so many times people are like, well, I'm doing the best thing for my client and I'm, you know, managing this with an iron fist. And it's like, that's not really what's working for the whole transaction. And so to see that changing and shifting and softening, it gives me hope that we'll continue down that path, even once we're all outside of the current situation.
Absolutely. And I love that, because the broker blindness thing is because, you know, at Inman, I like to say that Inman's an agnostic platform. We really don't see brand. We report on brands, but we're a platform that is very, you know, we're very brand agnostic. We talk about everybody. And so from a community standpoint, it's like we want everyone to feel like they have a safe place to engage. Like you'll see some people, you know, oh, I don't know if I should go into that group because it's more, you know, EXP or it's more KW or it's more Compass or it's more whatever. And it's like, I just want to strip all those away and say, you have a safe place no matter what you do. I mean, you'll see people that are going to come in with their opinions every now and then, but that's really, you know, kind of the glory of it is that we can moderate, you know, anything that gets a little gnarly sometimes, but for the most part,
it doesn't.
Want to have a safe place to come in and learn and not be judged or not feel, you know, I mean, as a community leader, I love that. I love that we have an agnostic platform. Come in, let's talk, let's learn from one another and collaborate. And to be able to double down on that is huge. And to take that out and see how we continue to grow the community based on that is huge for me. Like that's what I'm all about, honestly.
The group, so the Inman Coast to Coast group, which is a group for realtors, it's available for any realtor to hop in. And quite frankly, Laura, I it's been one of what I perceive to be the healthiest group of realtors that I affiliate with, because oftentimes in Facebook groups, and this happens whether it's realtor groups or not, as Facebook groups, they get dodgy and it's negative and it's this, that, and the other. And like, I don't want to put my time there, right?
Yeah.
The Inman Coast to Coast group is very healthy in my eyes. I see it as it's been one of the most amazing connectivity resources that I've seen agents be able to pour into. I mean, the group is now grown. Are we well over 18,000, closing in on 19,000 agents?
Yes, we are.
That are all helping each other. So it's been one of my favorite groups to be a part of.
Good. Well, here's a little trivia for you. So I started that group back in 2000 and I want to say 14, maybe.
You did?
I remember the day that I actually started. I started that group. And at the time it was really literally just supposed to be sort of the rallying group around our Connect events, because we had one in San Francisco and one in New York. So that was where the Coast to Coast came from, was going to be our group to rally excitement around our events. But it's morphed into what you said. It's actually morphed into a community. And it's been strategically organic on purpose, meaning that you need to choose to be in there. And we definitely make sure that we keep it nicely trimmed and well-mannered, and, keep the conversations, enlightened and elevated. And it doesn't hurt that Brad is an amazing conversation starter and storyteller, and he can come in and, sort of just take the conversation in all sorts of fun directions. I love that he's one of the most accessible, leaders in our industry. I mean, I don't know too many other CEO. He's not even the CEO. He's beyond that. He's the publisher and the owner of the company. But, for him to be so accessible in the group, to be able to reach out to him, to be able to have a chat with him and, have this banter back and forth, is part of what makes it one of the most unique groups in the industry, I think. Yeah.
It's one of my favorites.
Not in all other groups. I don't know about it.
What's that, Laura?
Or maybe I'm just not in any of the other groups that I don't know about.
I'm in a lot of groups. It's a healthy group, and that says a lot.
There's a lot of groups, and when you're talking about the banter, the negativity, my whole thing is life's too short for all the negativity, and it takes too much effort, and I don't have that energy to waste. And so I tend to tune out of a lot of those groups because of what you're talking about. And it's like, this isn't really adding value. Why am I really in there? But I kind of want to see what's going on. You know what I mean? But I engage. But those groups that really are adding value and are adding positive spins, or coming from an area of contribution, those are what really feeds my soul. And I like seeing that group, because I'm a part of that group too, because we are trying to grow and be coming from more positivity. And the negativity, it's just like I said, it's just a waste of energy. We don't have time for it. So I do appreciate that with your group. I did not realize you started that. That's amazing.
I know. I had no idea back at the time that it would turn into what it has. But it's kind of nice being back in there, and being able to kind of go, all right, yeah, I'm pretty proud of this group.
Well, you should be.
Yeah.
You should be. And when we opened up this session, I was saying you are a global connector. And one of the reasons why I love you so much is you just come from such heart, and it shows. And so we have an audience that would be based either, we have agents who watch, and we have consumers. And I think it's important for the consumers and our customers and our clients to realize is when we talk about these tools that are available for realtors, these are some of the tools that change the way we do business. These are some of the tools that come together with a network and the agents who lift each other up to improve the service level. So it's important that agents have these resources that we can pour into each other in, and that's one of them.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for that. And for all of your clients out there, I know that they're getting amazing service. But it's exactly that way. It's just, technology and tools are just the thing that helps you do things better. you know, it's the people and having the intent behind those tools that really makes the difference. So it's huge.
Speaking of technology and tools, Laura, and what I'm thinking right now is agility. And that is because we know what you've been working on a lot. You've been pouring into Inman Connect Now, which is the first ever fully remote accessible digital conference that's coming up next week. Share with us, what have you been cooking up over there with the Inman team?
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, I've first got to give kudos to the entire Inman team. I mean, we have everybody that has just really flown into, I mean, talk about agility, but it's experimenting and having to make decisions on technology and the tools and the platform. And, you know, but to that end, it's also really making sure that we deliver on our promise that we're going to put together an amazing 3 days of high quality content. And we have over 150 speakers, I think, with individual sessions that will suit any taste. It doesn't matter if you're agent, broker, entrepreneur, technology geek, founder, someone that's looking to make, you know, buy the next technology that's going to change your business. Whatever that might be, we try to make it available through content and connectivity for 3 whole days. So taking that into a virtual and very digital thing, obviously you have some limitations, but we're trying to work outside of some of those constraints and do some pretty big, amazing things. But I think what's really been cool for me on my side and at Renee, I mean, you know, we have always leveraged our ambassador program for events. And when I walked into this event as a community leader, part of my role has been to bring together the ambassadors for our particular event. And we doubled the number of ambassadors for the event this time. And we did so at first thinking we were just going to help bring more people into the fold. And one of my original ideas was that instead of just sort of kind of rallying and promoting and doing that together, that I really be intentional to help ambassadors understand that our digital attendees will need to have some idea of how to experience this in a very different way. But I had no idea that by the time we got through this size of an agenda with this many speakers and this variety of sessions, that being able to have an ambassador group of leaders the way we have has really allowed me to take the skills and the essence and the wonderful hearts and minds that they all are, and be able to say, I need you here. I need you in this discussion, and I need you here in this session, and I need you here to speak here and help run these conversations. Because, you know, everyone is amazingly and individually so amazing and so great to know that to sort of plant these people in this event in this way is, although it didn't unfold the way I thought it would, it actually was even doubled down on. And I am just pleased as punch that we've been able to sort of bring our own little tight-knit ambassador community together and say, okay, how can we make this like amazing for our attendees? So it's what we've learned through this experience is literally going to change the way that we can approach the ambassador program in the future. So what we are learning right now is what we will sort of download afterwards in another week or so is going to be phenomenal. So it's not just what's happening now, but it's like what this has changed and what we glean out of this that we change how we do things later on, whether we're live or whether we're in a conference, you know, hotel again. It's just literally going to change the way we think about it. So it's been crazy.
We have a pretty lineup, because I was looking at it earlier too, trying to figure out, okay, what are all the sessions and planning out what I want to really take part of. And there's some amazing speakers lined up, and I can't wait to learn from them.
Well, and the good thing is that just like any good on-demand, event, everything that you get as an attendee. If you feel like you can't be in one session or you can't be in all, or business calls and you've got to take your calls and step away and actually, do business, all of these will be available afterwards, and which is unique because usually we'll pick some of the general session things and a few of the tracks and make them all available. But every single session, networking event, track, learning lab, workshop, everything will be available on demand. So as attendees start to build their agendas and plug them into their calendars, even if it's not in your calendar and you want to go back and see something later, you'll be able to do that. So I think the best way to approach it is just take a look at it, see what your highest priority things are, understand what goal you have. And I think you'll plan an amazing event. And all, like you say, in your jammies or on your big screen TV, however on your couch. Mm-hmm.
This particular Inman Connect is very near and dear to our hearts, and I'll share why. Is that so Elizabeth and I are with eXp Realty, and we just experienced our first conference. I think it was both of ours, Elizabeth, our first true conference that was fully remote. A couple weeks ago, we had our shareholder summit. Mm-hmm. And so I come now to Inman Connect now with this whole enlightened mindset of, oh my goodness, it works. And let me tell you, there's lots of opportunity to build relationships, and it's going to be off the charts. And I see the agenda and know that I'm ready to learn, right? I'm just ready. What is that saying? When the student is seeking, the teacher appears, right? Like I feel like I'm ready. I'm ready to learn.
Right. Well, and you also have a really big role, Renee. I mean, you're going to be moderating. It's Agent Connect, right? And I think you're in a really great position moderating because you get to see have these conversations firsthand, like right as they're happening. And to meet them ahead of time and have prep calls and kind of go. It's a work heavy. And it's a big additive to your life, but these are also relationships that again will, sort of carry on, throughout the rest of your career. So, I mean, these are all great, fun things that are happening.
Elizabeth is joining us too, right? Elizabeth is in Agent Connect, and we're going to be talking about client connection. So get ready.
So I'm excited.
So for you, Elizabeth, this is where everyone gets to meet you for the very first time outside of, this particular series and where they might know you in other places. But this is the first time that the Inman community will get to see you and get to know you. And that's the power of this, is that people will see you on the virtual stage and remember you and what you bring and, just your loveliness and your intelligence and your experience. And you make friends for life because people want to connect with you before, after, during the chat. So this is going to be a really incredible way to connect with people.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
Laura, I love your main core value. It's not about me, it's about you. And I see that that's how you really navigate through your work and in your relationships. Talk to us about that.
Well, when I started from a place of service when I joined real estate a long time ago. I was really about trying to solve problems for people. And, I guess you could say I'm kind of a fixer. But the joy that I get out of those is like, okay, we solved a problem. Now we can move on to the next thing. And I think that even as my career sort of took off and elevated, and all of a sudden it went from not just having, agent and broker relationships, but moving up to enterprise and, actual relationships with the, executives at, the Zillows and the Realtor.coms of the world, that, if I was operating from that same core value, it didn't matter where I was and who I was talking to, that I was always probably going to be making the right decision for me in any given time. So always trying to put the empower people to see what they are, what they can accomplish on their own. let more people see you, shine the light on more people, so that people can see how amazing you are. It's a privilege to be able to work at Inman and be able to have a platform that sees so many people, and to be able to use the platform to shine that light on people. So it doesn't matter if it's agent broker level or all the way up to founder, all the way up to CEO. I deal with them all every single day, see them at the conferences, are always there. So just always operating from that place of, it's just, at the end of the day, it's just not about me. It's really about you guys. That's what gives me the love in my heart, is saying, someone, like Renee, for you, and you're a perfect example. 3 years ago, I didn't know who you were, but we connected, and we connected on a deeper level, and we've had some amazing conversations that when we were actually as a team having a conversation about our very first town hall, which was the first event that we put on when this pandemic hit, you were the first person that popped into my mind because we'd already been having conversations. And I remember that day in our Slack channel at Inman, watching you in the town hall, everyone's like, Renee for president. Renee is so awesome. Who found her? Like, where is she from? Like, she's like this, everyone, like the pattern was just like off the charts. And for me, it gives me chills just talking about it, because nothing makes me happier than seeing someone that I know is like amazing and valuable and wonderful and has so much to give, to be able to just say, I just need to just move her over into this little spotlight over here and let her own it. So, I'm so looking forward to you owning the stage. Elizabeth, you owning the stage, virtual or not.
It's a stage.
It's a stage. I think we have close to 10,000 signed up for this event now. So this is big.
Small amount of people.
10,000, Laura?
Yeah, just a little bit of pressure for you guys. The attendance has like gone off the charts this past week and a half. So it's the word is out, and so watch out. It's going to be pretty amazing.
We're all have to say, everything you said about Renee, I absolutely second. I mean, it's so funny because she and I are so similar, but we're so different. And even when I'm on these shows with her, and she's so calm and moderates beautifully and very articulate, and I'm kind of like manic all over the place. So she is definitely funny. So I see that with you too. And when she has been really involved in Inman, I mean, she's an amazing moderator. So definitely a gift, and I'm excited for her to shine with that.
Okay, I am channeling my inner Debbie Byrie. Debbie Byrie was on the show a few weeks ago, and she's just all heart. And we talked about compliments and how women have the awful habit of trying to say, oh, no. Yeah. So Debbie would say, Renee, just say, thank you, Laura. Thank you, Elizabeth.
You are welcome.
Very good. She can be taught.
All true. Accept it.
I'm gritting my teeth. It's about the people. So all I can say is that I promise to cascade out whatever knowledge anyone ever wants to pour in. And I know that, again, that's what this show was all about, is cascading out the knowledge and wisdom and inspiration that others wanted to pour in. And this is not me. This is all the people that I stand arm in arm with. Right? I'm a product of those that I collaborate with. Elizabeth is one of my very closest friends, and I'm better because of that. And you too, Laura.
Oh, thank you. But no, I mean, this is the dynamic that is so incredibly lovely to see. And we need more of it. We honestly need more of it. We need more stories like this, and we need more conversations that shine the light on those stories and help each other be better humans and better professionals in our industry that we all love.
Well, I'm talking about bringing agents together and people together in a virtual world or in a unique situation. That's our story. Renee and I met.
Yeah.
We just saw each other within our company. We really didn't know each other until you start kind of interacting and you start seeing each other in the same places. And it's kind of rare. you look back and our families are now really, really good friends, and you're like, oh yeah, we've been friends forever. And you think it's like a lifetime of friendship.
Yeah.
Isn't. So
well,
but
I got into real estate as a virtual assistant. So
I did not know that.
I did. So I immediately started online networking. That was where I had to find my people. This is back in 2005 that I started this. So I've been working in real estate virtually since day one. And I mean, it's been.
I did not know that, Laura. No wonder. And now there's so much more coming together.
I did. So just a brief history. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I had my little ones, and I thought, I want to go out and get a job. And I had another mom introduce me. She was an escrow coordinator, and we were working in a really nice part of Northern California called Ruby Hill, Livermore, California. And at the time, I was just like, yeah, I can help with marketing. I'll help put together flyers and posters and postcards and whatever. And I fell in love with it. I learned listing coordination, and I learned everything. But I quickly learned that I didn't want to go into sales because the kids were still really little, and I knew that would be really hard. But I also learned that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I decided to take my virtual assistants that I learned to do for everyone in the office and actually open my own firm and become a national firm, taking brokers and agents from across the country. So for 12 years, even before joining Inman, I had my own firm just helping agents and brokers doing technology and social media and blogging. And, the nexus of Brad calling me was literally through my online connections that I had made, and people that were just like, she's great at what she does. She should, if you need someone, she would be great. And, my life changed from that. And again, that came from that place of, it's not about me, it's about you. And it's like, what can I do for you to help? How can I be of service? And also, how can I be a better business owner? And where can I help? So the story was written from that point on in terms of my Inman career, but that literally changed my life. So wow. I've definitely been in the trenches. I've definitely done the hard work and managed clients and customers and market and strategies and everything. So
we feel that because you're such a great connector with the agents that it's evident that is the case. So we feel that. Okay. So we put our guests on the hot seat. I hope you're sitting down and holding on to your chair, because we have one final question we like to ask.
All right.
Are you ready?
I guess so. Take a deep breath.
You got this.
You got it. Don't worry. Laura, what does leading from the heart mean to you?
All right, I'm going to think about this just for a minute so I can put my words together. Leading from the heart to me 100% means empowering others. And I don't mean that as sort of a fluffy marketing word. Empowering others really takes the ability to look at someone and not say, hey, you've nailed it. Hey, you're a hustler. Hey, you're killing it. But actually being able to say specifically and in strong detail what you love about someone, what makes you connect with someone, and be very, very specific about those words. Because we're all out here doing the best we can, trying to be kind, trying to impress, trying to find ourselves, trying to be authentic for every role that we have in life. And it's very rare that people can stop and say, I find you to be an incredible human being based on the many things that I see about you that aren't just about killing it or hustling or doing this or your sales numbers or anything else. But it's about the mother you are. It's about the brother you are. It's about the kind of father, the things that you're interested in that make you a whole human being. So for me, it's about taking that holistic look at every single person that I come across, and making sure that I try to do my best to empower every single thing that I possibly can within my little toolbox to be able to do that. And that's it.
Well, that's big.
And that's it, she said.
Yeah. And that's it.
That's the tweet. If you can fit that in 140 characters, that's great. But no, that's really it. I mean, it's what gives me the biggest joy at the end of the day, is when I'm saying, you know, what are you grateful for? I'm grateful that I got to see the smiles on your two faces today. I'm grateful that I get to see you in a few more days. And I'm grateful that all of our attendees are going to get to see both of you and how amazing you are. And, you know, they'll see this and get to see more of you. So, I mean,
you are incredibly busy. I know how hard the Inman team has been working. I've been fortunate and blessed to be a part of some of that planning, and I just see what you guys are doing to make sure that the success of the event is off the charts. I'm so happy to hear 10,000 agents.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, agents, brokers, groups. We have people from Canada. We have people from attendees. We have people from everywhere. Yeah. So we really garner the largest audience of the industry, I think. I mean, just you know, it's huge for us. Pretty huge. Yeah.
It's huge for anybody, and congratulations for putting this together and pulling it off. And I have to say, we are incredibly grateful for you spending time with us, and you have brought us joy today, just hearing from you and hearing from your heart and you sharing. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure. I don't get to do it that often, so this is good.
Awesome.
So for those who do not, you're not in that 10,000 attendee list, you should be, and there's still time left to get a great rate because there's a special discount available. So we'll put the link in the chat box below, and also it's June 2nd through the 4th. I'll be right here on this couch. Elizabeth, you're going to be right there in that spot, right? So we'll see you at Inman Connect. Laura, thank you for loving on the industry the way you do. We appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys too. And thanks for having me today. I loved it.
Take care, Laura. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.